We know that a lot of that is created, right? They pay the radio stations, pay to play, all of this stuff. But who's behind it? Who's pushing it?
Yes, that is my question.
Get ready, it's the new edition. Your favorite morning meditation. Hey, it's me, pardon my success. I'm a hot mess.
Pardon my success. We should make that the new intro.
June Edwards, welcome to Pardon My Success. Oh, God, it's been, almost a year, maybe a little bit less than that since we last spoke. And I'm so excited that you agreed to come back on. And I have some questions. And I would just like to get a little bit of your insight. We're both Love and Karma, which we talked about the last time that you were on the show. So amazing. I read the entire thing and learned so much. And it's also really crazy that since we last talked, I've actually met a lot of different people that have also had not only near-death experiences, but actual death experiences that have had very similar stories. And even like a friend of mine who was legally dead for over 20 hours and was like in the morgue and came back.
Brain damage doesn't always happen in 3 minutes.
Yep.
There's miracles that happen all the time.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for coming. And to get right into it, I guess. Well, June here, for those who didn't see our first episode together, which if you haven't, you should go watch. June is a psychic medium. And what would you consider your official title to be?
Well, I'm a relationship expert, a psychic medium. I'm the creator of the Relationship Mastery Program, which is a 7-week online program that teaches people how to balance their energy and get in touch with their soul.
What I would like to chat with you a little bit about today, things in Hollywood right now are seemingly getting very demonic. And I was wondering what your take on everything was and like your kind of thoughts on the P Diddy ceremonies and things. And if you could give us any insight into how other young artists can protect themselves and not get sucked into anything like that.
So, one of the lessons we all have to learn is patience. I know a little bit about the Hollywood lifestyle and things from there because I have a nephew who was a pretty famous Reebok model, and he was Cosmo Man of the Year, and he was involved in quite a bit. And I have a niece that was also involved in the recording industry. And you've got good and bad. You've got God and the devil, whatever you want to call it. God will give you everything that you want in life if you work hard for it in the time you're supposed to have it. However, you always have this little devil sitting on your shoulder saying, I can give it to you now. I can give it to you now. And that lure of wanting that ego filled, and that's what it gets down to is people's egos. They sell their soul to the devil, literally. Literally. So it's no different than murdering someone and taking their life and having no remorse. You end up in hell. Both ways. You sell your soul to the devil or you murder someone and have no remorse. Those are the two ways you go downstairs, not up. And it's happened to a lot of people in Hollywood. Both of my niece and my nephew got out of the business completely because of what they were witnessing and seeing. And one of them being put the pressure on to basically sell his soul. And he was raised extremely religious with a Hindu background from my sister. And, he was appalled that I had the insight and knew a lot of what was going on there from just also acquaintances and friends that are in the business. He didn't really understand that anybody in the outside world knew what was really going on in Hollywood. Okay. It's a micro bubble, basically. And the people that are in that bubble, they were all living that lifestyle and seeing it and easily get sucked into it because why did you come? Why are you there? Really. Most people that are in Hollywood are there because they're looking to get famous, doing whatever it is they do. Whether they want to be an actor, they want to be a singer, whatever it is. And even, I have a son that's in the industry. In a way, he's a rigger, and he, sets up for all these large concerts and things like that. And there are shows that he won't work them any longer because they're so demonic. A lot of these singers are literally doing satanic rituals on the stage in front of their audience that has no clue and thinks this is just part of the show.
Like, what exactly?
They'll have things playing in the background on a big movie screen showing human sacrifices or animal sacrifices. They'll come out on the stage wearing demonic outfits and things. They're saying words that are, they're not English. They're not something that someone recognizes. There's quite a few of them that are doing that. I mean, you can see it. You can look at the videos.
And are those rituals like harming any of the audience members?
Absolutely. When you've got demonic activity going on and you're there and you're allowing it, you can very easily get an attachment that will go home with you. So when you get a demonic attachment, what does it want? It wants your body and it wants your soul. So now you're dealing with that. And there are a lot of people that have no idea what's happening in their life. Why has it gone so badly? Why am I hearing voices? Am I schizophrenic? It's, all kinds of things. And they don't realize.
What do they do to get rid of a demonic attachment that just came when they were at a concert that they had no idea?
You can pick one up anywhere, but if you're obviously at a concert that's doing demonic activity, it's going to be a lot more prevalent and a lot easier to pick it up. It's very difficult to get rid of a demonic attachment. And the reason for that is a few things. First of all, people right off the bat don't understand it's a demonic attachment because they're very clever. They'll take different shapes. They'll act like they're a little girl haunting your home all of a sudden. Oh, I have this little girl haunting my home. No, you don't. You have a demon in your home that's trying to make friends with you. And that's what happens. As soon as you make friends with it and allow it, then it's the next step until it literally takes over your entire body, literally, and you can hear it and it's inside of you and you're like, oh, well, it's okay. We're friends.
So is that what actually happens when you sell your soul? Is that you literally, a demon just takes over? Where does your actual soul go?
So your soul, first of all, is way too big for your body. So there's only some of your soul in your body. Some of it's over your body that people see and call it an aura. And the largest amount of your soul is in the lowest level of heaven, the fifth dimension. Okay. When a demonic takes over your body, your soul is still in your body. It's just really pushed down and aside. So unless you're a really good fighter and can fight it off, and I know someone that's done that personally, literally was in bed with it for 3-4 days. They thought he had the flu or something, and he knew he was physically fighting for his life and fighting to get this demonic entity out of his body. Other than that, you're looking at an exorcism. But, everything's rescindable, too. So even if you've literally, there's an actual contract they sign in Hollywood if you're going to sell your soul to the devil. There's an actual contract.
What is that?
There's an actual contract. Yeah. I have no idea what it says. It's whatever they're offering for you, and you're willing to sell your soul. There's an actual contract.
So they are rescindable.
But they're all rescindable.
How do you rescind a contract?
They're all rescindable. You would have to take God into your life to do that, and I would say still have an exorcism done, because God's a forgiving God. Even if you murdered someone, say you murdered someone and you had no remorse, well, definitely you're going to hell. Well, even on your deathbed, if you had remorse and wanted forgiveness from God, it would be given to you and you would not go to hell. So he's a forgiving God. And every religion speaks about that, how, he's a forgiving God. And it's all on you and it's all on your soul, because that's what it's all about. We're here to advance our soul. But there's been a war that's been going on this earth for hundreds of thousands of years, and it's the war of good and evil. And the devil wants your soul and God wants your soul. They both want your soul. So it's your choice. It truly is your choice if you want to live such a 3D existence here that you're willing to risk and sell your soul for all eternity because of your ego, to fill your ego and to fill the short amount of time that you're actually here on the face of this earth. People don't see that. They have no patience. They want immediate self-gratification. They want it now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to put in the work. maybe, they forget that there's a grand plan, and there's a plan for each and every one of us that we made on the other side. And when you're going outside your plan, because you feel it in your soul, you feel it in your gut, and when you go against it for something like that,
100%.
you know it.
So people have also been talking about like some of these celebrities maybe being a higher up question mark witchery. I don't know what's happening, where it's like also like soul transfers and like taking over.
So everything
100%.
is energy, okay? Everything's a frequency, and you can't destroy energy. You can either create it or change it. That's it. You cannot destroy energy. So you can't destroy your soul.
If you die after selling your soul, like you are just immediately banished to hell and there's like no returning.
Absolutely, once you're there. I don't know that anyone can come back from hell, to be honest with you. I have no knowledge of anyone coming back from hell.
But it's not like souls can go to hell after they've sold their soul and then become a demon and then return. How are demons made?
Absolutely, sure they can. I'm sure they absolutely can. So I've seen some funky stuff, let me tell you. When my mom was dying in the hospital, I call them minions, but they're demonic. And they're about maybe about 3.5 feet tall. And they come in droves. And I know the Hindu have a different term for them. In the movie Ghost, when they came out of the sewer and grabbed the guy and brought him down to hell, those are the things that I saw going around the perimeter of my mother's room when she was dying, clearly looking for a soul. And I called on Archangel Michael to get them out of the room, and he got them out immediately. But I knew darn well, and you can tell they're demonic. You can feel it in your own soul. You feel that pit in your stomach. It's an extremely low vibration.
Oh my God.
Very,
like
very
low buzz, but demons. Interesting. I hate that. I hate that.
Pretty much.
So what actually creates a demon? Is it just like like a human soul polluting their own soul enough on Earth? We don't know.
I honestly don't know. I've seen demons. I honestly don't know. I deal with angels and souls that have gone into the light, and I deal with entities that are stuck here that we call ghosts because I try to move them into the light. They haven't gone into the light for whatever reason. And I've had to deal with demons because they wanted me to have the education about them from the other side, not by my choice. I chased a demon around a 3-family home in Connecticut that keeps following the family around. They're attached to the grandmother, who has Alzheimer's. She can see them very, very well. And they're also attached to one of the younger children who has a learning disability. And it's dangerous. They're very dangerous. But God wins. Higher power they'll leave. But yeah, they're extremely dangerous. I had one of my students get a full-blown attachment with an evil entity that took them over. They have to go for an exorcism, and they have to be willing to do that and cast them out. And she was not willing to do that because she had made friends with this demon. You cannot do that. Full-blown possession. I don't know. I kind of lost track with her after. I could not help her. She had to seek help through a Catholic church.
Hypothetically speaking, there could be plenty of young, aspiring celebrities who come out here willing to do anything, sell their souls, make friends with the demon, and then just let the demon fully take over, and they're just in there somewhere hidden completely.
Exactly. And there's a couple of celebrities that have done different interviews that I've seen that, if you look at an interview from 5 years ago before they got famous and you listen to them talk, they don't even sound the same. They sound like a completely different person 5 years later when they've suddenly out of nowhere gotten this celebrity, right? It's very clear that they've sold their soul. And when you listen to them in an interview, you can tell it's like it's not even the same.
Yeah, there have been a lot of stories like that I've heard recently. Here's the thing, is that there are so many people that they're like, they got famous out of nowhere. And yes, of course, sometimes it's like in the eye of the public. There are people that it's like they've been working for years, but you just haven't really noticed or recognized them until later. But then there are people who truly, out of the blue, have not released a single thing prior, suddenly their first things coming out are the hugest hits, the most marketing, all of this stuff behind it.
And we know that a lot of that is created, right? They pay the radio stations, pay to play, all of this stuff. But who's behind it? Who's pushing it?
Yes, that is my question.
That's the question. Okay. There's so much going on with the adrenochrome and, the child trafficking. And there's so much that the public's not aware of.
That's what's freaking me out, is that I keep going into these crazy TikTok conspiracy holes that include, that's like telling you all of the like video evidence of huge celebrities and children, little children, and stories and articles of interviews with celebrities who
they're being bred. They're being bred. It's been going on for
like baby farms, and then also like rituals of like having to kill and harm newborns. Like, what is happening? What is going on?
Yeah, well, that's the highest order for the devil, is to kill and sacrifice babies, newborns. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just Hollywood. Oh, yeah. It's politics. It's most of your politicians. How do you think they got what they got? Why do you think, a lot of them look so young?
What's the adrenochrome?
Is what's keeping them young.
You just said that. What is that?
Adrenochrome coming from? It's what they inject to keep themselves youthful and young, and it's made from adrenaline. There's only one way to get adrenaline from adrenal glands from somebody, and they can't be alive. This is where the children come in. So the more fear you have, the more potent your adrenaline. Yeah, it's horrendous.
Oh my God.
It's really horrendous. Yeah, and this is why the celebrities that are talking about it, they're taking
everyone's
them out
dying.
And
everyone's dying off or going to prison.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been going on. This has been going on underneath the ground that goes
the underground
from Canada
cities
to Mexico,
Hailey Carter, she has been kept in these like underground tunnels and things that run all through LA, all through the US. Like, okay. So the baby ritual now makes sense. And that's very, very highly, incredibly upsetting. And just like horrific.
There's a lot more.
Okay, tell me more. What's happening?
There's something called cognitive dissonance, okay? And what that is, you've been raised to believe certain things. And when someone starts telling you stuff that is so outside of what your belief system is, you just can't process it. You can't believe it. It's got to be conspiracy theorist stuff. It's got to be unreal. That's the reality. And there is so much to come out yet that your average person is going to have a lot of difficulty processing. There are restaurants that, like underground restaurants that people don't know about, or ones that pop up, real fast, and they're serving human meat.
What?
It was, yeah. They're harvesting more than adrenochrome. They're harvesting more than adrenochrome. Yeah. Yep.
So...
Yeah. I forget who it was, but one of the celebrities' wives had an online website that people could literally buy at retail. Yeah. Yeah. I swear to God. This is going back. Last time I saw it was probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if they've taken it down at this point. I don't know.
Why the cannibalism? What?
It's all part of all the dark arts and all the rituals, and it's just horrific what's happening. It's been going on a long time. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, but
it's not.
This is new to me, so I am absolutely flabbergasted. And what is the point? What is the why?
It's good and evil.
They're just trying to be as evil as humanly possible. Like what?
You have to remember that when you're evil like that, nothing else matters. If you're not part of it, you're a problem. You're either part of it or you're part of the problem. It's that simple. You learn how to recognize energy. Everybody's walked into a birthday party and they've felt that high, elated energy, right? That nice high vibe. Everybody's walked into a funeral and everybody's crying and felt that low vibe, right? Well, evil is lower than that. Evil, literally, you feel it in the pit of your stomach. Fear is in your head, okay? It's the difference between I think and I know. It's a knowing. You know it. You know it because you feel it. You don't question it. It's kind of like being in a dangerous situation, okay? Say you went to a nightclub or something and you feel like you're, somebody's scoping you out and it doesn't feel safe. You feel that. That's your soul giving you that warning, okay? That's what you have to learn to listen to. Not, your brain's job is to create fear to protect you. Yeah. That's different. It's very different.
What can a person do to protect themselves?
So the only thing you can do is call on the angels, call on Archangel Michael to help protect you. Picture yourself inside of a protective bubble, literally, that none of that energy can get near you, by you. Make sure you're wearing, religious talismans. And I tell everybody, have them blessed by a Catholic church, because for whatever reason, that seems to be the strongest potion for them. Maybe it's because that's the basic religion in this country. I don't know. But I make sure that I have everything blessed by a Catholic church. My girlfriend actually spritz herself down with holy water before she goes into any situations that could be sketchy. I used to own a bar, okay? So everything wants to come into a bar. All those lower vibrational entities want to come into a bar and hang around because there's alcohol, there's booze. I used to put cups of holy water at the entrance door, and people would come in and stop and just not even understand why they couldn't come in, but they could not cross the threshold with the holy water there because it absorbs negativity. They'd turn around and just walk away and stunned and not understand even why, because if they had an evil entity possessing them, they had no clue why they just couldn't even come into the building.
I'm like, do I go get my perfume blessed by a Catholic church?
What I do is get a gallon of distilled water and take it down and have the Catholic priest bless it, and then just put it in another bottle.
People are going to think I'm crazy. I'm just going to start going around spraying things all the time. I guess this is a harder question, which I don't know if you have the answer to, but if the industry seems to be run by this, what do I do?
You work with the angels is what you do, because the angels will always give you what you want. They always will. It just may not be in the time frame that you're thinking it's going to be, but it comes when you're supposed to have it. Work with the universe. It's like people that are out there doing spells, they're working against the universe. They're not working with the universe.
Oh. Is it good and evil, or is it like yin and yang? Because there is always going to be a dark and a light, and you need both. And I understand that in many ways in the world, you need the dichotomy of the light and the dark. Because without the dark, there is no light. So,
right. Well, so that's not true. That's not true. Darkness does not exist. There is only light, and there is an absence of light. That's it. If you take the light away, there is only light. Darkness is the absence of light. So everything in the universe has to stay in balance. And the reason it's the way the world is right now is because the entire world is out of balance and it's being overrun by demonic activity and satanic activity.
So there's too much darkness.
There's too much. That's right. And, I asked one time when I was on the other side, what can we do to help to overcome all the evil in the world right now? And the answer was for people to just keep doing more good. The more good you do, the less evil there is.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And eventually, the pendulum has to swing again. It has to get more towards the center. And that's what will be happening in the next 20 years. It's going to be absolutely amazing on this earth. But we're going to lose a lot of people in the meantime because the war is going on and we will be casualties.
Okay. All right. You know what? That makes me feel a lot better, because I feel like a big part of my purpose on this earth, I've always felt, has been to spread love and light. And I want to find other people that share that and want to do good and not hurt people and band together and try to create a united front, because I feel like that is genuinely the only way that can actually have any real result and effect.
Well, it's happening.
The overwhelming. Yeah.
It's happening. There's a mass awakening going on in this world on a large scale. People are opening their eyes and they're seeing the evil, literally.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be on that side. So it is happening. It really is. I'm very hopeful for humanity, quite honestly.
Okay.
It is happening. But we still have, we forget we're here for each other. We have to keep helping each other. We have to keep working together. And you have to trust. You have to trust the angels on the other side. You have to trust God. You have to know that they are here for you and they have your back. You have to know that. When you're walking into any situation like that, I couldn't have walked into that house to remove that demon if I didn't know I had angels and God on my side with me. And God always wins. God always wins. We have to know that. His power is much stronger than any demon or any devil.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be around you, quite honestly. You'll find that you'll be shunned by a lot of people that are demonic because they don't want to be around you. If they don't want to fight you, that's why I tell everybody to wear a religious symbol, because when they see that, they go the other way. They want the easy pickings. They don't want the ones they have to fight for.
It's actually really funny because my uncle, who's come on the podcast as well, Uncle Rich, shout out to you, King. He was the announcer on The Price is Right. And my dad and his family grew up incredibly religious, very Catholic. And my uncle wore a crucifix necklace, a gold crucifix. And when he first came to LA, his first agent, when he sat down, told him, "You need to take that off. Nobody is going to hire you if you don't take that off."
There you go.
And my uncle was like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he always assumed it might have been something to do with like anti-Christian specifically discrimination.
It's anti-God.
But
anti-God.
All right. On a lighter note, I guess this has been incredibly depressing and upsetting and horrific to hear, but I'm glad I know, because I did have a lot of questions.
Money and balance, right? Money is energy. It's why we use it in the 3D to show if your life is in balance. The universe will always make sure you have whatever it is you need. If you want to buy $1 million house, the universe will make sure you have the $1 million to buy the house. But it also expects you to be able to go out and help others. The more you give out, the more you get back. This is how the universe works. This is the law of attraction.
So everyone, keep creating, do good things, spread more good and light, and let's please, band together and maybe put holy water in your house. All right. Well, you've given me so much to think about. Every time you speak, I'm like, well, that's been a huge life shift that we've just gone through. That's cool. But I do feel better. I feel more hopeful.
And keep in mind, it's not just Hollywood. That's a little bubble there, but it's worldwide. This is happening all over.
It's everywhere.
The world.
So yeah,
everywhere.
We can't just leave a place and think that that's going to solve everything.
Right. And, before we had such great communication, things were kept, in their own secret. Exactly. And now with such great communication, the light is being shined on the darkness, and it's coming to light everywhere. And that's a good thing. Knowledge will set everyone free in the end of it. Exactly. Yeah.
Everyone go spread light. Spread light and love. Let's join together, be good, and make this incredible new earth that June was talking about, because I would really like that in the next 20 years. That's the whole goal before I'm 40.
It won't take that long. It won't take that long, but you won't even recognize it in 20 years.
Thank God. Thank God, honestly. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, June.
God's there. He's on our path. Oh, you're very welcome.
You are the best, and I appreciate you. And everybody, thank you. Go follow June. Everything's going to be down below. I love you all, and I will see you next week. Bye. Are you PMSing?